Welcome back. I'm Natasha Elkington, your TV host, and with me today I have Tim Christophersen from UN Environment, who is the coordinator of Water, Land and Climate Branch, right? Correct.
Right.
Okay. So how has been your experience so far at the GLF?
I've, I think, attended all the GLFs F in the past, and before that Forest Day and Agriculture Day.
Yeah.
And I think we are at the tipping point of really making land and restoration more relevant to the climate agenda, to the sustainable development agenda. I think that's one thing this forum has really contributed to.
Okay, great. So what can we do as GLF for land in terms of buffering it against climate change to ensure that we can feed about 9 billion people in 2050?
I'm quite sure that land is the next big thing in climate action. It will be the next big area where we see private investments, where we see political decisions, where we see mass stakeholder movement and action. And that's just about on time, because we need the additional buffering capacity, we need the mitigation, but also the adaptation of land, of agriculture, of forests to come to our rescue. Because we're now on a trajectory of a 3 to 4 degrees world, and we have to stay to the 2 degrees. Even 2 degrees we're in dangerous territory. Right. There was a special report coming out this year that even at 2 degrees, most coral reefs in the world might die off. So we are already in dangerous territory, even at 2 degrees.
Right. So I guess, you know, the question is, like, we have a small window, right, like about 12 years in order to find some sustainability. So how are we going to do that, basically, against like trying to feed so many people and also restore land in this small window of time? How are we going to balance this, in your opinion?
Well, fortunately, productivity of land and the amount of carbon that is in circulation in that land are related. So carbon-rich landscapes are both more productive and they're better for the climate, which is what many people don't take into account when they think it's either we have lots of forests for carbon sequestration or we have monoculture agriculture for food production. There is a middle way that is good for food and water security and food quality and for the climate. And that's the middle way we have to strike, more through agroecology, restoration of ecosystems, and planting more trees in and around farms.
Okay. Okay, so there's you mentioned earlier, like, there's a special report coming out on, next year from the IPCC. Can you tell us a bit more about that and why it's an important report?
The special report on land use coming out next year will determine how decision makers view our area of work, which is land use, land management, forestry, agriculture. So far, it's an overlooked solution, both in climate terms, climate change action, but also for the Sustainable Development Goals. I think the IPCC report will change that, and I encourage everybody who's linked to the GLF to log on to the IPCC website, make themselves available as a reviewer of the draft, which is already out now, make sure that science is as solid as possible, so that when that report comes out, we can say land is at least 1/3 of the solution to the climate crisis.
Okay, okay, so it's very important. So, you know, as the theme of this year's, the Bonn event is, you know, from commitment to action. So why is this theme important, right now, especially?
In our sustainable development pathway, we have to move from agreeing what to do to doing what has been agreed. Because we have all these commitments, the Paris Agreement, we have a strong biodiversity plan, we have the Sustainable Development Goals. There's nothing stopping us anymore from saying we have to first agree what to do. There's no excuse.
Right.
Now the commitment has to be to action, not only from governments, but from cities, municipalities, from the private sector, from citizens everywhere. Everybody can do their part. Governments have to catch up now and really lead. So right now, cities, municipalities, citizens are doing more than the governments, and they should be in the lead. The governments need to step up their game.
Right. Okay, so in terms of our future, are you hopeful? The current state of things.
I am hopeful, also seeing all the young people here and the students who are participating, and the energy that they bring, and they will not they will not hesitate to also change existing structures if they must to avoid that we head off the cliff. And that's, I think, also a warning to all governments and the private sector everywhere. If they continue with business as usual, they will see unrest from young people and from everybody who has a stake in the future. So it's high time that we get away from business as usual.
Right, and act in a different way.
Indeed.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
It was great having you. Is there anything else you felt that's important that you want to mention that we haven't covered?
Just that the encouraging thing that we see now is also that the private sector is much more coming into the GLF. Right. We've had a lot more people from private investment companies here who are looking to invest in sustainable landscapes, afforestation, restoration as a solution. That's encouraging.
Yes, it is encouraging. Exactly.
All right.